I think the choice of Mitchell as the United States' first envoy to Burma was a very good choice. First of all, he's an insider. He was a foreign policy advisor to the Obama administration, and most recently he served as an Assistant Secretary of Defense. So he knows his way around the administration well. Secondly, and perhaps most importantly, he knows Burma. He's traveled there, he's met with Aung San Suu Kyi, so that puts him in a very good position. And then more broadly, he knows the dynamics of the region very well. And I think a key part of this new position will be engaging Burma's neighbors and countries in Asia to get towards a more coordinated regional approach to improve conditions in the country. Well, his appointment is coming at a very important moment. This is a period of transition in Burma. It comes on the heels of the recent dissolution of the ruling junta. And even though it's clear that the military is remaining in power in terms of its grips, nevertheless, there's still some changes that are happening at the margins. For the first time in 22 years, Burma's parliament is in session. So what remains to be seen is how the new actors on the scene will be able to maneuver. How much room will they have to maneuver? And I think an envoy dedicated to Burma will help to position the United States to have greater dialogue with a range of actors, the military, new political actors, opposition groups, ethnic groups, and civil society and the business community. So at this moment, the timing seems right. Naming a U.S. envoy to Burma is a significant step for a number of reasons. First and foremost, the country is undergoing change. Secondly, it positions the United States to engage in a more direct way, something President Obama has articulated himself as his new policy of engagement. Up until now, the efforts to engage Burmese military leaders has been met with virtually no response. Having an envoy fully dedicated to Burma sends a clear signal to military leaders that the U.S. is indeed serious about engagement. So it remains to be seen whether they'll respond. But with an envoy engaging with other facets of Burmese society, it does put the pressure on military leaders to step up and engage. Change in Burma will not come quickly. As we've seen since the deeply flawed elections in November 2010, it's really been the same wine in a new bottle, so to speak. But there are a number of developments happening. First of all, there is a new parliament in session. Secondly, the Burmese military leaders have privatized large segments of the economy. So they now do not have a stranglehold over all of those resources. So it'll be interesting to see how the political developments and economic developments will play out together. A new U.S. envoy will have several important tasks ahead of him. One of them will be to keep a close eye on how U.S. sanctions are being implemented. Aung San Suu Kyi and the National League for Democracy has come forward in favor of maintaining sanctions, but in a much more targeted way. So I think the envoy will be tasked with making sure that U.S. sanctions are really focused on corrupt political leaders and their cronies, and not affecting ordinary Burmese citizens to the extent possible. This will be a key part of his job. Beyond that, I do think we have to think about Burma as, of course, it's a relatively small country, but when you put it in a geostrategic context, it sits between Asia's two giants, China and India. Both of them have vital economic interests in the country. Burma is a source of energy for them, natural gas and oil. So both are vying to have influence in the country. And I think the U.S. envoy needs to come in and deal with Burma's neighbors, not only India and China, but of course others like Thailand, Singapore, and so forth, who also have economic interests in the country, and try to find a way to bring U.S. policy and Asia's policy more in line with each other. I think that is really the best chance to encourage any meaningful economic reform, political reform, and social reform in Burma.